Well, we all know that the value of a company is really based on its earnings. But what's not quite so obvious is that it's not based so much on historical earnings, and that's historical earnings, but it's really based on what a buyer might expect to receive in the future. And since we don't know what the future brings, we use the past. And in this case, anybody really could look at this in this particular example and say, well, the earnings going out to the future are probably going to be about $500,000, and a price paid for this company should be based on that, and it should be cash and maybe a note, but the note shouldn't be contingent. So let's take a look at another scenario. In this case, let's say that earnings start out more modestly, but then take a bit of a ramp up. And the seller might say, hey, look, this thing's really going up, and in a year it's going to be at $1 million. So the value that I want for the company is $1 million to get this company out of my hands. And a buyer's going to take a look at that and say, yeah, but you know what? This is what you've done right now. And if the company grows, I'm going to be the one to take it and grow it up to that level, and I should be the one to enjoy the fruits of that labor. And that's kind of hard to argue with, but you can. A seller could say, look, I built a foundation. I built this company. I've got the websites. I got the relationships. The company has momentum, and you don't have to do much at all. It's going to $1 million, and you just need to sit back and enjoy the ride. Well, a buyer's going to say, you know what, I'd really like to believe you, but I only met you 2 weeks ago, and I really don't want to spend $500,000 to $1 million based on your word. So why don't we do this? I'll pay you for what you've done now. That's fair. I'll pay you now for that. And what we'll do is let's set up a number, and in a year, if you get to that number, and the company gets to that number, I'll pay you more. And that's an earnout. And to make it easy, it's really all about earnings, but to make it easy, it's usually best to make the earnout number on a revenue or on gross margins, and if worst case, earnings, although that can be pretty contentious.